It's Australian historical fiction author Michael Bichel here once more, and personally I want to thank you so much for those of you who downloaded the podcast with the last post's Greg Ross, giving an insight into 19th century Sydney. That podcast and others like it make listeners, I believe, feel like they're in that period. It really is an opening for that part of our history. After all, history, especially Sydney's history, doesn't have to be stereotyped, does it? No way. And for those of you who want to continue your journey, or those who may be new to picking up these articles and series, then keep going in exploring that wonderful period of our culture. Now let me ask you a question. If you wanted to know a lot about Sydney, built form in the 19th century, how would you do it? Would you go onto Google, Wikipedia, other generic websites? Or would you seek to get immediate, tantalising and not too well-known bits of information about the period? Especially if you're like me, you're passionate and interested about it. Then if you are, then I say to you, welcome to Sydney in the 19th century and its iconic buildings. Keep watching because the answer to finding out more is coming up shortly. Right now, readers of all ages are taking the initiative to inform themselves about Sydney in that time period just by taking one step. And now there is an unmatched opportunity for you to join them and get started. I'm a fourth generation Sydney-sider. My father was born in the Rocks in Sydney. I'm a member of the National Trust, and I've been in the construction industry for many decades and have had the privilege of leading teams in giant construction companies like Lendlease, to state governments here and overseas, and I've also been partnering with leading architects, clients, designers. And what I found surprising is that even these professionals don't really know the subtleties of the 19th century built form and the impact that certain great events had during that century on the lives of the citizens of that era. They're looking for information to inform themselves about their forebears, but they don't get the sense of motivation. And that's what I'm trying to do with these series and these articles, and also my writing. Thankfully, things are about to change, and change now, because the series are coming up, the first series. For a few of my clients, they've been lucky enough to read my books and get a feel of that time with its extant buildings and its characters. They've got the smells and the taste of that century, both before and after the 1850 gold rush period. Those readers have enjoyed the buildings and the characters who built them. The designers and the tradesmen have gone on to read the stories I've told during that period. So, after many requests, I've officially launched the first of the series that will inform you within hours or just minutes of receiving them. This truly is revealing. What I'm about to share with you is unlike anything you may have seen before. It will highlight the scandals, the personalities, the egos, the quirky facts, and the characters, their flaws and their virtues, and of the buildings that you see every day when you walk past as a Sydney-sider or as a tourist. So I'll just share with you within minutes of opening these series exactly what it must have been like to feel the struggle, to see the buildings rise out of the ground, to taste, to touch and to smell, to understand the challenges and difficulties in the fine architecture and builders who executed them. And like all these articles, I'm sharing the first series. It's at no cost. So download now and you'll receive the information free of charge. This special information is beneficial for any reader of Australian historical fiction who wants to get more than a sense of the time and to understand what our culture must have been like, especially the built form. Don't wait on this. All you have to do is click on and get started now and get your first series. Click now and I'll see you on the inside to welcome you to Sydney in the 19th century and its iconic buildings.